Hey, fuckers.
I got some swimming to do. I have no air left. I'm airless. We can call this airheads.
Did you do anything over the weekend?
We had a retirement party for my sister-in-law, Kelly.
Okay.
We have a bunch of Kelly Whitemans. They're everywhere. And my son's dating a Kelly.
Really?
Yeah. So we're going to have like too many Kellys. But yeah, we had a nice little gathering with family and celebrated her retirement, which, you know, that's becoming a big club now.
Yeah.
Just about everybody that we know is retired,
Yep.
except for you.
Dave's wife, Kelly?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, we had a nice time. What'd you do?
I cut grass.
Huh. How weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's freaking Groundhog Day.
Oh, we also, our neighbors threw a big pig roast. The neighbor's
Oh, yeah.
second neighbor over. And I went over there. And I didn't know what to expect. I don't really know. There's, you know, I don't know them. I say hi. And these people just moved in, so I only knew them briefly. So I get over there, and I really don't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sit down at a table, and everybody's just kind of going,
At you.
at me.
Hey, the
And
lead
I-
singer of Kicks is coming.
And-
That cool.
Right. And I said, I was trying to strike up a conversation. What do you do? I'm retired. What about you? I'm retired. What about you? And this poor fucking guy, he could barely talk. What do you do? I don't really care. and the food was great, and you know, the company was really nice. I wish I would have known more people. I felt totally out of place and
Yeah.
silly. And then they had a DJ there, and then they start playing kick songs, and everybody's coming up and starting to yak, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
My skin started to crawl, and I'm sorry, I gotta go. But it was very nice of them to ask us over, and so Kelly and I want to get both the neighbors over here at the fire pit one night, have a few beers and
There
a
you
few
go.
hundred stories and
Hell
some
yeah.
pot.
We talked about this many times before, but you hate the popularity.
I never did like the popularity.
Yeah.
I don't feel worthy of it. I sing. So what? A lot of people sing. I was never good at handling it, and I'm still not.
Yeah. Well, I hit you with the news that our podcast has gotten 4.5 million views in the last 8 days or
And
so.
what did I say?
I don't care. I don't care.
I said, when I see zeros in my bank account, I'll care. Right? For now, that don't mean shit to me. You just ate 4,000 sandwiches. No, I didn't.
All right. No, we'll get to a number that will impress you at
All
some
right.
point.
I doubt it. I'm hard to
doubt it,
impress.
too.
That's why my gold albums are in your store. I give a rat's fuck.
Did you ever, how about when you first got a record deal and you were first on MTV, you had to feel...
Oh, sure. I mean, that was the beginning. You know, getting a record deal, you feel like the world is your oyster, and you're going to do nothing but go straight to the top.
Yeah,
None of that happened.
Right.
So I have a lot of disappointment, a lot of anger because of all the years and all the time we put in and how little we got out of it. It really didn't come together until we got back together in like 80 or 90.
2003.
90, yeah, 2003. And that's when it started to really come together. So, no, I'm not good at accepting accolades. I've been invited to the Maryland Hall of Fame, Maryland Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Give a fuck about that. I don't care. You want to be the, what do you call the parade, be the grand master of
Grand Marshal.
of the parade? No,
Yep.
thank you. The only thing I've ever done was throw a first pitch out at the flying boxcars. And that's selfish because I love baseball and I wanted to go to the game.
Well, speaking of that, the last show, or the resurrection of Kicks, your final show was in 1996.
1996 at Exhales in Frederick.
Great venue.
I thought your band opened for us that show.
No, it wasn't for your final show there. It was other times, and then of course, Funny Money started playing there.
Right.
We played with Funny Money there.
Okay.
Our singer had this shtick, and he had a microphone stand made
I
out of
remember it.
chain.
Yeah, I remember it.
Well, he would put plumber's glue on it, catch it on fire, and it would burn out after a couple seconds. Well, the glue fell off onto the stage, backstage, before he came running out with it. And the video I have, you could see the owner back there stomping out the flames.
Geez.
So at the end of the night, when we went to get paid, they said, I'm taking off $150 for a new pair of sneakers. Ruined his sneakers. That was a cool place, man.
It was.
I can't remember why they closed down. There was an issue with it.
Well, they were open long after we left, after we stopped playing. But
Yeah.
I forget what happened. Probably police related. Usually turned into drugs and fights and raids and shit like that.
Yeah. That was one of the last cool clubs around here.
Yeah, and Hagerstown, same thing. Had a nice big club over there. And same thing happened. It got ruined by drugs and gangs. And
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
it's hard to have nice things.
Somebody had sent an email in asking about, hey, where's some cool places in the Baltimore, Maryland area that we should look at playing with our rock band? And it's like, man, it's just a handful left.
Yeah, Ram's Head's gone.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That was a great room.
Did we ever find out why they closed?
I don't know. I've never asked. I know that they went through a lot of management change, and they went through the people that booked them. Because it was a national agency that booked the bands there.
Okay.
I think they probably sunk their teeth into it and probably ruined it. So, but I don't know exactly why.
Gotcha. Well, as of today is Wednesday. Just got word about an hour ago, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, dead at 82 years old.
Yeah, that's sad. Sly and the Family Stone. What's his last name? Sly and the
Yeah.
Family Stone.
Yeah.
He passed this week.
Right.
I was a huge fan of Sly and the Family Stone. I loved soul music growing up. Loved it. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't want to touch the
I
hat.
just did the same thing.
It's going down into my eyes. I'm like, oh shit. Deal with it, asshole.
So you did finally watch the Cheech and Chong's new
I
movie.
did. Yeah.
So it's not really a movie
It's
per
not.
se.
It's those two sitting in a car reminiscing about their careers.
Yeah.
I thought it was enlightening. It was informative. It wasn't funny until they'd show the bits that
Right,
they
right.
did that made it funny. But
Right.
yeah, it was good. I recommend it.
See, watching the movies and then, seeing Cheech's success after the Cheech and Chong stuff, I always thought, okay, he's the star of the show. He's the boss. He's the one that was in charge. But after watching it, that was all Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
Everything was Tommy Chong. And the fact that he was a drummer in a successful Motown band.
Right. And he played guitar.
Yeah.
And he wrote the songs.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun. My mama was always trying to tell me how to live. Dun 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 dun.
Good shit, man.
That's good shit.
Buddy of mine, Jeff, you know him, Jeff Barnhart, said, I didn't realize that was a Cheech and Chong song till I saw you guys' podcast. Here's who I thought it was, and some 80s metal band had covered it,
Oh yeah.
and they got the popularity from it.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, but
I
yeah.
used to listen to it on their albums, the Cheech and Chong albums.
Uh-huh.
I could probably do that whole song just out of memory.
I
And
could
I
do the
can't
whole
remember.
album.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Sister Mary Elephant, every
Yeah.
time you talk about Catholic school, that's what I think of is Sister Mary.
That's because that's what it was like. Those nuns were evil. They were evil.
There was a lot of talk about that. One of our posts was about the nuns in Catholic school, and somebody had said, that somebody stepped in. I don't know if it was a pope or the government, and said, no, you can't touch the kids anymore. You can't pull their hair. You can't crack their knuckles. But they said the nuns were trained to make at least one student a day cry.
They were good at it.
And even without physically hurting them,
Yep.
they would have a kid bawling every
Yeah.
day.
It's usually the girls. They went after the girls.
Really?
They were easy to get to cry.
Were there ever any hot nuns?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you could pretty. I don't know about hot,
Yeah.
but you could tell when they had a pretty face. That's about it. It's almost like the Muslims wearing,
Yeah.
everything head to toe. It's covered.
Right.
So yeah, pretty face, but that's about all you could tell. And you certainly didn't want to look up a nun's dress.
That's a one-way ticket to hell.
That's sacrilege. Hey, sister, nice ass.
Yeah. Let's get to a couple emails here.
All right.
Okay, Vicky Sue Gayhart. She says, one song that I truly loved, played live but didn't make a Kicks album, was Daddy's Little Girl. A Donnie song. Was there a specific reason it never made an album?
That's a good question. I don't really know. That was one of the first songs that Donnie showed me. They come up to Cressuptown, Maryland to watch me play and offer me the job of being the lead singer / drummer. And Donnie took me out to his little Volkswagen, little blue Volkswagen, and he stuck a cassette tape in. He played me Atomic Bombs,
Okay.
Daddy's Little Girl, and there was another one. There was 3 of them that he played me, and he just looked me right in the eye and he said, we're getting a record deal and we're going to make it to the top. I said, I'm in. I'm in. Because I always loved that song too, Daddy's Little Girl. I think because Donnie sang it and they really didn't like his voice to be recorded on an album, so it just kind of went by the wayside.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Atomic Bombs, he used to sing that one too.
Really?
Yeah. When I first joined the band, he sang that. And then they said, maybe you should do it. Then they tied my guitar to the drum riser, the cord. They
Yeah.
tied it to the drum riser, and I'm out there rocking my ass. People go, God, he's good. Where'd you learn to play like that? You're a fucking idiot.
Was it hard for Donnie to relent the vocals?
No.
He was good about it?
He was good about it. He was excited to write for my voice, and
Okay.
he knew how to get all my strengths and eliminate the weaknesses. So he was good. We all know he was good. Yeah. But yeah, that was my invitation into the band, and I had like 30 days to tell my old bandmates, what's going on, give them time to find something, and I had to learn all the Shoes music. So it was a lot of Zeppelin, a lot of whatever was popular at the time, a lot of Foreigner, that kind of stuff. So I had to learn all that, all the lyrics and all that. So that was some heavy lifting for me, because I was such a cheater. When I would play drums and do songs, I would just put the lyrics on a cymbal.
Ah, okay.
I hated memorizing it. Fucking hated it. Yeah.
We talked about it before. You were 23 when the band got together. When you joined
I was 22 when I joined.
22.
Yep. It was 1978. I was 22.
I was 4.
I remember.
You remember that?
Yep. It was dark, and you were 4.
I was passing the bong from one brother to the other brother. All right. Darren Verpeut. Verpeut. You want to give that a shot?
No way.
He writes, live kick shows always sounded perfect. Did Jimmy use a click track? I know that some songs required some keyboards, but did you ever use any other tracks?
Jimmy did use a click. He got that from in the studio. He loved just the perfection of playing to a click track. And yeah, I mean, Donnie played keyboards on Don't Close Your Eyes, but there was another one we did that we had
You
tracks.
Run Around?
No, it was on Midnight Dynamite. It was the ballad on Midnight
Away.
Walking Away. But those were on tracks.
Okay.
When we did Cold Shower, because of the bigness of the vocals, the backing vocals, we put tracks around that. Everybody sang live, but just having those tracks just made it sound good. So Donnie was about perfection. He wanted everything to sound perfect. So why he didn't go more into tracks, I don't know. I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
But we ran some tracks, but not. We were all performing, live. Always
Right.
performing live.
Wasn't lip syncing or anything like
No,
that?
none of that.
Right.
Fuck no. I would never do that.
Yeah. Very cool. I heard a rumor, I don't know, about Warrant playing at Shiley Acres that their entire show was on a reel.
I heard that too.
And there was an area that nobody was allowed to look at because that's where the reels were playing through the PA. And I don't know. I wasn't around then.
Well,
and
I went up to the engineer because I wanted to critique his mix, and he said, "This is Janie's microphone. Watch this. You turn it all the way up, you turn it all the way back down. No difference."
No shit.
So I went, "Oh, okay.
Oh,
Whatever. I know.
Fuck.
I know."
I hate when the curtains pulled
But Janie could sing.
Yeah.
Maybe he had laryngitis or something. The show must go on. So
Yeah.
not like me to go out in front of ZZ Top and go, I got ants in my pants. Let's dance. I ain't no fucking chicken.
Phoning it in.
I ain't
Fuck
no
that.
chicken.
I got you.
You suck. I know. But I can dance.
So you were at the Warrant show at Shiley. I guess it would have been 1990,
Yeah.
1989, 90?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Steve Schrader. I got a word association that is sure to get a reaction from Steve. You ready for this name?
Yeah.
Neil Clifford.
Yaya. That's what we
Yaya?
called him. Yaya.
Okay.
He was like a local promoter, big fan, friend of the band. He always came around. He would throw a show here and there. One time we played for him somewhere up in Pennsylvania, and he came up short on the pay. And he had this like Winnebago with a cab on it for our dressing room. And we were playing in Georgia like in 2 days. And so Donnie looked at him and said, well, since you can't pay us, we're going to take your little Winnebago. We're going to take it to Georgia. He said, can I go? So we take Yaya to Georgia, and he does so much cocaine that he just passes out. He passed out for 24 hours, and he was cutting these disgusting fucking farts, and we're all gagging, rolling the windows down, and out of nowhere, Donnie Purnell was driving. Donnie was famously a terrible driver. We called him Mr. Magoo. Every time he got behind the wheel, we'd all go, so Yaya is in the back farting and sleeping. Donnie's driving, and all the rest of us are gagging. And some guy just starts beeping the horn really loud and a lot at Donnie. Nah, nah, and they just thought he recognized him or something. And the guy was, Roadhog! And Yaya wakes up out of a dead coma and goes, know them people, Donnie? That's my Yaya story.
Is he still around?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Neil Clifford, yeah.
Yaya.
I don't know why we called him that, Yaya. We had another one we called Abba Dabba, because that's how he talked. He was always nervous. He would just start everything like that. That's Abba Dabba. I think Brian come up with all the nicknames.
That's a good one. Neil Clifford. Steve Schrader wrote that in. There you go, Steve. Mickey Coiner. I saw you guys in Pensacola, Florida around 1986 after Midnight Dynamite was released. To this day, one of the best shows I've ever seen. I was wondering, did you travel with your own production?
When was that?
That would have been 1986 after the Midnight Dynamite
Yeah,
record.
we were traveling with our own equipment all the time. We had a full road crew and a equipment truck, and now after we got back together and started doing all these fly dates, that's when you get the promoter to provide all the gear. We would take our in-ear monitors, microphones, guitars, the essentials, but for the most part. But yeah, back in the day, we carried everything.
Well, that's would have been about the time you had that Jimmy's kit for laying rubber.
Yeah,
it was like a truck
with the truck and the
smokestacks.
The side, the fuck you call, I guess, smokestacks. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that had to do with laying rubber. How many trucks you see laying rubber? I've never seen a truck lay rubber. I never got it, but it was cool.
Yeah,
Crowd liked it. The crowd liked it.
Yeah.
This hat keeps falling down into my eyes. There. Now I look like Goober.
Be good. All right. Todd Cheney, your comment, so what if I have blue arms? Is that about a jacket?
It is.
Okay.
It comes from, yeah, rap, obviously. And back in the day, we had these custom-made leather jackets. They were really nice and great leather, and the interior had this blue, I don't know, it's just leather. And every night we'd wear them, we would sweat, and we'd take the jackets off, and our arms would all be blue.
Okay.
And when we did that rap, that just popped into my head. So what if I got blue arms? Doesn't make me a bad person. And that's where it came from. So it was the leather dye from the leather jackets.
So when that first came out, I was asking some friends, what do you think he means there, Blue? And one guy said, well, tattoos. He's got tattoos, blue arms. So what? It doesn't make me a bad person. It kind of fits. So I spent most years thinking, well, Steve's got tattoos on his arms, and that's what he meant. Sure, I got blue arms. So
Nope.
what?
Nope, not even close.
Not even close.
I would never get a tattoo. There's nothing I would put on my body that I would think would be cool in 10 years. I'm like, nah, I never had a desire to do that.
No?
No,
Me
not
neither.
my thing.
Me neither.
They look good on you, though.
I got my first one when I was 13 years old.
Oh, how? Why?
I went down, there was a party after hours at a tattoo shop with some biker guys, and I'm sitting there drinking, and of course, I wanted to be 18, 20 years old with these guys, and of course I want a tattoo. So on my arm, I got the Tasmanian Devil dressed as the Grim Reaper.
That's what that is?
No.
Oh, good.
I had to live with that for years, and then finally I got it covered up. That's the Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And they covered it with the Swan Song and everything. But I think if I would have never gotten that first tattoo, I'd have never gotten any.
No.
No.
Yeah, I was never exposed to it growing up. And like I say, nothing interested me enough. I don't want to put a dragon on my chest or, something stupid.
Yeah.
Even when I see a beautiful, hot girl and they got tattoos all over them, turns me off.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. Sorry, tattoo ladies. It's not my thing.
Well, I like the tattoos. What I don't like is the piercings, the weird piercings all over the place.
Yeah, I don't like any of that shit.
Yeah.
Nah.
Just a little bit
Get
of
off my lawn, you sons of bitches.
A little bit of lipstick and you're good to go.
There you go.
All natural. Okay, this guy is named Ricky G, and he spells his first name R-I-K-I.
Okay.
He's encroaching in on my territory.
Is he?
Well, my given name is R-I-K-K-I.
Oh, really?
That's what's on my birth
Oh, I
certificate.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I shortened it to R-I-K. It wasn't to
Okay.
try to be cool.
Yeah.
It was a shortened of
I didn't
my
know
given
that.
name, Ricky.
I've learned.
My brother named me. My dad wanted to name me Ernie.
Ooh.
My mom said, no way. So my brother would come into the hospital and say, where's little Ricky? So my dad said, all right, well, if it can't be Ernie, then I'm going to choose the spelling of it. And they decided R-I-K-K-I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. Way better than Ernie.
Well, I did a Facebook search just to see how many other Rickies are out there.
Yeah.
And they either made their name R-I-K-K-I or it's women. It's all women.
Yeah, that makes
It
sense.
sucks. All right, so Ricky G, awesome name. I'm a huge fan from way back, and I would catch them anytime they came to Boston. There were a couple shows in which the band Extreme opened up. Pretty sure it was just before they got signed. Extreme was always Boston's best kept secret back in the day. I'd always heard that after the first time they opened for you guys, you actually requested them as openers anytime you came through Boston. Is that true? I'm under the impression there was a pretty solid band-to-band friendship that had developed over the years, and I would love to hear about the first time you all met or any good stories you might be able to share. So,
Yeah,
did
we
you
have
request
a
them?
long relationship with those guys, and we used to play Boston a lot. I don't remember exactly who invited them to play with us because we weren't really in charge of that. That was usually the local promoters. But
Okay.
but when we heard them, we were blown away by them. And the first time I remember hearing that they were huge fans of us is when they opened for us at M3, and we all got to hang out and reminisce, and they were talking about all the shows that they've been to, and then we've done the cruises, many cruises with them, and
Yeah.
Nuno's just the best, and yeah, they're fans of us, and Nuno always says I ripped you guys off, and I'm like, I don't hear it. Yeah, we go way back with those guys. Still one of my favorite bands. I went over to see them when they played in Charlestown not too long ago, and loved them. Gary was great. Gary's one of my favorite frontmen. Just because,
Really?
have you ever seen him?
No, I've not seen him live.
He is amazing. He slithers.
Okay.
You know how I dance, I move.
Yeah.
He slithers around, and it's so cool looking. And he's a great singer. And then Nuno is amazing. Probably one of the best guitar players in the world.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
for him,
yeah.
for him to say he rips off kicks, that's funny as hell
Wow.
to me.
Wow. Justin just turned me on to this week, actually. It's Nuno Betancourt and Steven Tyler doing More Than Words.
Oh, I've seen that.
And Justin, and I agree with him. He said it's the best performance or vocal performance.
Yeah. Nuno's quite a
that
good
he's
singer
heard.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good.
When he joins in, I mean, it was just incredible. Anything Steven Tyler does,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
incredible. He's got like a machine in there working that puts out these layers of vocals. It's crazy.
He's great. It's a shame his voice is failing on him, but hell, mine's gone. So understand. You're lucky you had it that long, Steven.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a hell of a performance. I wonder where Gary Sharon was when that was happening. It was for some kind of charity. It was a fundraising
Gary
event.
spent a couple minutes in Van Halen and spent
Mm-hmm.
a couple minutes in Motley Crue, so he might have been out.
Wait a minute, he was in Motley Crue?
I think he was in Motley Crue for a minute or two, not very long.
Damn, I never knew that.
I might be lying. So, for some reason, I think that's true, but I could be wrong. Google that, James. Oh, never mind. I'm kidding.
They are back together now, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're going strong. They put out a new record last year, and it's brilliant. It's fucking great. Have you
Yeah.
heard it?
No.
You should. It's really, really
gonna.
good.
I will.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm going to go down that rabbit hole of Extreme. They was always kind of there, and I liked them, but I never searched them out. They were
Yeah.
never one of my favorites, but you know, the older you get, the more appreciation you have looking back at some
Right.
bands, and they're one of those bands I really want to deep dive on.
They're worth the dive.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Absolutely. I tried to do it with Enough's Enough, and I can't
They
get
don't
into
they don't
them.
have enough hits or enough.
I think Fly High Michelle was pretty much the only one
Yeah.
that was
Good
commercially.
band. I mean, and we've done a lot of shows with them, but yeah, they don't have the catalog that an Extreme would have.
Yeah.
I liked Extreme's music because of the funkability that they had. It was very funky, and I love funk music.
Yeah.
So they were great at it.
So in that genre, who would you say are one of the best, or your favorite of kind of like the funk or the Sly and the Family Stone era type stuff?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
God, there's so many good ones. I can't think of anybody. When we do this damn podcast, my memory just turns to shit. So, but when I watch it back, I know the answers right away.
Yeah. That's cool. What about the Temptations?
Love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana Ross. I loved all the black artists. I liked all the white artists. It was them green ones I couldn't stand.
Oh, the ones that bled green blood.
Exactly, yeah. Those people.
We went down to see Robert Plant down at an event called the Sunflower Festival down in the Delta Blues down in Mississippi. And it was so cool. You know, they had the Rich, Robert Plant, and a couple other artists that had made it huge. And then they had a few local blues artists who like lived the life of the blues.
Right. It was a
And-
lifestyle.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And when I listened to those bands, it just felt so different than Robert Plant singing the blues. Because it's like, this is where the blues came from. was
Right.
These guys and their fathers and their grandfather who lived in Mississippi and wore the, you know, maybe no shoes on their feet for the
Right.
summer. It was just such a cool
Well,
experience.
Zeppelin always recognized all the old blues players and credited them for
Yeah.
the inspirations of their music. And even on that Celebration Day when they
Yeah.
all got together, they called out some artists that influenced them. And they called out Ahmet Ertegun,
Yes.
who was the head of Atlantic Records. I met
Yeah.
Ahmet a couple times. There were some wacky stories about Ahmet.
Well, I got a Western Union telegram at the Institute where he sent you a telegram when you guys went to Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Doug Morris
Yeah,
had
yeah.
way
You
before
have that?
text messages and emails.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually part of Brian's stuff.
Oh, okay.
Brian has it over there.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It was very cool. Way before cell phones and emails and all
Yeah.
that. It was.
Well, that was our first trip to Japan, so everybody was excited, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
Japan was amazing. There was about 500 kids out in front of the airport when we landed. And we were
That's
like,
crazy.
Who's that for? And we see all these kick signs. We're like, Jesus Christ, these people are nuts. And played theaters, and it was great. Everything was sold out. They treated us like royalty.
You worked with that famous Japanese promoter, right?
Uno? Was it Uno?
Something like that.
Yeah, I
Just
forget.
died recently.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he was a part of every big band that came through
He
Japan
was.
at the time.
Yep. He took us out to dinner to this Japanese restaurant, and they had Kobe beef.
Over there, wouldn't it just be took us out to a restaurant?
Well, they took us to the special restaurant,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
where they had rocks that you cooked on, and they had Kobe beef, which was like
okay.
these cows' feet never touched the ground. They were born in a stirrup, and they lived their life there, and they fed them all these. The meat was incredible. It's
Yeah.
the best I've ever had in my life. Yeah, what the hell is his name? Google that one, Jamie.
I've heard about that beef. I've never had it.
Well, that was the real stuff. You can
Yeah.
get Kobe beef, but
Right.
not like this.
like the Wagyu, where the animals get massaged and stuff
Right,
like
right.
that.
And there's special grains that they're fed, and like I say, their feet never touch the ground. There's a process, but man, I don't know what that meal costs, but it's probably more than I've made in my life.
Real Kobe beef is something crazy like $200 a pound.
Yeah.
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 And that's just to buy it.
Right.
To have it in a restaurant by a professional chef, that was big money. Oh, all right, we got, looks like we got time. One or two more. This is from Susan Jewell, Jewell. Hey, Steve and Rick, I tried out Simple Pleasures. They have very nice concentrates. I will be going back. Steve, have you tried Blessed Herb Crumble? Goes very nice on top of a bong hit. P.S. When you get too high, drink a glass of milk. It'll bring you down a notch, so it's enjoyable. Rick, you needed a glass when you smoked. That shit was hilarious. I was indulging myself while watching and just about pissed myself.
There's too many questions in there. What
So it
was
was, have you ever tried the Blessed Herb
Yes,
Crumble
I
that
have.
goes
It's
on
great.
top?
Yeah. Put it on top of your bowl. Works good. It's almost like hash.
Okay,
And fuck yeah.
really?
Fuck yeah. Good. It's real good.
All right, so they sell that at Simple Pleasures. They
Yep.
sell the smoke at Simple Pleasures. They sell the edibles at Simple Pleasures. They sell the drinks at Simple Pleasures. They sell all of the smoking utensils at Simple
Yep.
Pleasures.
I just gave you one.
They sell hats at Simple Pleasures.
Thought beetle hats.
Yeah, I just got I just picked up a gram of hash, not for myself, and realized on the way here I didn't have anything to smoke it out of. So you gave me one of the bowls, one of the promotion bowls. So we'll sample that, tell you what it's like next week.
Okay.
But Simple Pleasures, we can't say enough about them. I was just talking to Hunter, and as crazy as our social media has gotten with 4.5 million views, you know, it's going nuts. I had a conversation with Hunter and Simple Pleasures, said, look, it doesn't matter if we had 1 billion views or 10. You guys have been with us since day one. We love the relationship we have with you guys. We love your store. So,
We're loyalist.
for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they have everything. I just went in today, like I said, there were 14 people working. And some of the people, you know, they don't know who you or I are. So we go in and within 15 seconds, everybody's waited on and then they get to you. So
Yeah.
you wait around 15 seconds and then they're so attentive. What do you want? What do you need? Well, here's all the options we have.
And
for
you can order
what you're
online
looking
too.
for.
Like, 'cause that's what I used to do when I went to the dispensary. I would order online, then just go pick it up. You can do that there too. Very
Really?
convenient.
Okay.
Yep.
And I know they have delivery now.
Yep.
DoorDash. So get yourself a pizza, gallon of milk,
And an ounce of pot.
ounce of pot. Now, this clip won't be able to go on Facebook, but all the others will. We're still
Right.
dinged from promoting the sales of drugs because we did a commercial on Facebook for Simple Pleasures. They still have us dinged for that.
That's ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense
That's
at all.
ridiculous.
Again, it goes back to it's legal on the state level, but on the federal level, they still will not legalize marijuana
Yeah.
or anything to do with it.
Stupid.
But isn't it crazy how when we were kids, marijuana was almost like having a gun, or
Yeah.
it was just
you
wow,
felt like you
be
were a
careful
criminal.
around the cops. You got a bud in your pocket.
Paranoid.
Yeah, and I never would have guessed that we would be living in today's age. Back when I was a teenager,
Me
it's crazy.
neither. I got to goober this up a little bit.
I can never get used to going in there and looking at all the pot.
I know.
I'll take that pot. I'll take that pot.
Yep.
It's like,
And they're edibles. They're incredibles.
yeah.
They're good.
Did you do any today?
No.
Have you smoked any today?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I like to be straight for this thing because my memory's bad enough. If I get high, it's gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
okay.
I might be funnier, but I don't care. I like to know what I'm talking about. I don't just want to sit here and lie for half an hour.
That's right. If you go to Simple Pleasures, tell them Steve and Rick sent you. You won't get anything except an attaboy. But it'd be cool.
You get stink eye, that's about it.
Yeah.
I hate those guys.
You look at you and say, so, what do you want?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Not our fault.
Exactly.
All right, we got time for one more email. This is from
Alrighty then.
Dave in Baltimore. You remember him? Dave in Baltimore?
That's Dave. Dave ain't here.
Dave's not here, man.
Going back to Cheech and Chong.
That's right. We all understand due to age and health problems, the band had to stop touring. But have you ever considered just doing M3 every year? The fans
No.
miss you guys.
No, because in order to do one show, we'd have to practice for a month.
Yeah.
And I literally cannot and do not want to sing that stuff anymore because I can't do it well. If I could still do it well, maybe I would consider it. But I'm too embarrassed to go out and sing like a step and a half lower than what we recorded in. And my feet are killing me right now just standing here.
Really?
I think we got to do this sitting down from now on.
Okay.
Because neuropathy sucks. Anybody out there's got a cure for neuropathy, I'm all ears.
Well, here come 1,000 emails with home remedies.
Well, I don't want a home remedy. I want a
Right.
proven fucking remedy.
Yeah.
I see it every day. Like if I do go on social media, it's always neuropathy, and a beautiful girl. Neuropathy, and a beautiful girl. I like the beautiful girls. I don't, because it's all bullshit. There is no, I've been to too many doctors and neurologists. I've been through the gamut of trying to get real help, and there is no help.
Yeah. You
So-
saw a specialist in Baltimore.
I saw a diagnostic specialist, like a house, like doctor.
Yeah.
And he had me just with a big runaround for about a month, taking blood and doing this and doing that and getting that, and just all these tests that he had me going through. And after a point, I just said, I ain't doing this.
Yeah.
There ain't no fucking cure for this. So I gave up, and I just lived with it until I had to go to the guys and go, guys, I can't do this anymore. I can't be who I want to be on stage in this condition. So I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided, for the last show.
Yeah, it would just be impossible to do one show a year because you'd still have to do all that.
Nobody
prep
does
work
one
and-
show a year. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's too much work for one show. And I have no desire. I'm done. I am so completely overplaying. I'm so done with it.
Yeah.
It was great. 50 years is a hell of a run. Give me credit. I lasted 50 years.
That's right. That's right. All right. You want to take us out there, Whiteman? That's it?
That's all I got.
All right. That's cool.